It's the Litty Show. The Litty Show.
You know the fucking vibes, man.
You know the fucking vibes. Today on the Litty Show, we got Andrea, aka Dre Mav, in the building.
That's right.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
So let me start off by saying you got a great radio voice. You don't have an obnoxious, loud voice like me. Like you're very professional, slow, relaxed. So it's Dre Mav. Andrea's your first name. Your last name being what?
Mavares.
Mavares. And then I don't speak Spanish, so I can't say it the way you did. And then what? So explain to me your IG name.
305. Obviously Miami. _ Brownie. That's just a family nickname that I got from my brother.
Okay.
When I started Instagram, I didn't really have any plan of what my Instagram account was going to be.
Right.
So I started off with that, and the name kind of just stuck.
And it's still been.
Yeah.
Damn, see, so you are kind of like professional, because I think I've went through like 60 Instagram names since I've started Instagram. So introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. I am Dre Mav, and I am the owner of Dre Mav Productions. I am the director and owner. We do all types of productions. We do podcasts, radio, broadcasting, media, events, and I dabble in a few other things.
Okay. Born and raised in Miami, obviously.
Born and raised.
Where in Miami?
Well, I was made in Maracaibo, Venezuela, and I've moved around everywhere in Miami, but originally I was born at Baptist Hospital in Kendall. So shout out to Kendall.
I think everybody from Color Ridge all the way up was born in that hospital.
Yeah, and then from there I've just moved around. I mean, I've been in Key Biscayne, Coconut Grove, Fisher Island, the hammocks, everywhere.
So you're officially you are Dean.
I am.
All right. So with that said, what was maybe your most memorable moment or favorite moment? Which area was that growing up? Which one was your favorite?
I mean, I definitely have to say Fisher Island, because that's where I spent most of my time growing up, all the way up until my adolescence.
Mm-hmm.
So all of my family memories are there. All of my core growing up moments are there. And there's really nothing more Miami than Fisher Island, to tell you the truth. So
we're from Dade. So for the people that are not from Miami watching, explain Fisher Island.
Fisher Island is a very historical landmark here in Miami. It is an island that's right off of the coast of Miami, and it's kind of interconnected with Miami Beach. You can see it from South Beach. And it's just kind of been passed on generation through generation. I'm not sure who runs it at the current time, but you may want to do some research on that, because it has a really cool story. And right now it's just kind of luxury living. It's been very overdeveloped. But it's a vibe out there.
GTS Fisher Island. You know what GTS stands for, right? Google that shit.
Google that shit.
GTS.
I like that.
You know the vibes is Litty Willie from Litty Productions. I want to thank everybody that's been supporting us, sharing, liking, commenting, doing all that good stuff. Just to let y'all know, we got Instagram live videos, we got YouTube videos, we got all kinds of different productions. That's why we call ourselves Litty Productions. Make sure y'all hit me up if y'all looking for something at Litty Willie _ Litty Show Productions on Instagram, all that good stuff. Just make sure you hit me up. We out. So Fisher Island was the most memorable time of you growing up. Do you remember your first crush and your first heartbreak on Fisher Island?
I wouldn't say it was on Fisher Island.
Okay, give it to me. No, you open the door. First crush, first heartbreak.
Why? Hold on, I gotta drink a little more.
Drink to that. Come on. Let's start off with your first crush. Who was your first crush?
My first crush. Honestly, I've always been a little boy crazy. I'm not even gonna deny that. My first crush was in kindergarten. I will never forget this guy. His name was Anthony. And that was really my first crush.
Anthony. If you're watching, Anthony, she's big time now.
That's funny.
He might look different though.
That was very long ago.
So first heartbreak.
My first heartbreak. I don't like.
You don't have to say it
No. I don't even remember that.
No.
I try moving away from that and not focusing on anything that's hurt me in the past. I'm sure I've experienced a lot of moments of heartbreak,
right?
And they've all been very impactful. However, I like to take those as a lesson and not remember it in a negative manner. So
Okay, I respect
ain't nothing
that.
gonna break me, yo.
That's it. That's a fact.
Ain't nothing gonna break my heart.
You didn't have that much influence on her. She wouldn't really talk about you. Growing up musically inclined family, you had a family that was musically inclined. Were they musicians or what were they, your mother and your father?
So my mother was a famous singer in Venezuela, and that was before she chose to marry and have a family. And on my mother's side, all of my aunts and uncles, one of them actually passed away a few days ago, so rest in peace to him. But they were all very musically inclined. They all played instruments. They all had amazing voices. Some painted. So they were all musically and artistically inclined. And on my father's side, my father was a lawyer. However, he also played a lot of different instruments. He loved music and he taught me a lot about music. And his brothers and sisters, the majority of them were also artistically inclined. So I definitely was influenced from both sides of the family. And being who my father was, he tried to instill musical knowledge in me. So from a very young age, I tried to mimic my mother and try to be my mom and kind of finish off her career, which she didn't do. Right. And from my father, he kind of gave me a lot of knowledge and he would test me, let's say when we were in the car, he would turn on the radio and he'd be like, who's this? And who's playing that? And what kind of music is that? So that always was, within the realm of my family.
So you had a lot of trivia games going when you were in the kids.
Always.
It sounds like, so when I go to school, I take my kids to school, they listen to hip hop with me or whatever the case. So they're listening to a song and I'll be like, you know where this came from? And they'll be like, oh, here we go. So I'll break the samples down to them and I'll play old songs. But, they hate it now, but I know one day they're going to be like, oh, I know where this came from. My dad taught me this. So,
I think you should continue doing that, especially when it comes to hip hop, because that's part of the culture is preserving that knowledge. And back in the day, I can think of so many moments where I was so upset with my parents about them trying to instill, a lesson or teaching me something. And I'd be like, oh, I don't want to do this. And why are you making me? And I just walk away from it, and there's so many moments in there that they're just instilled in you forever. Right. So keep doing that.
Thank you. What was the first hip hop song you remember hearing?
I mean, I can't say 1,000% that it was this, but when I'm asked this question, I always say it was KRS-One. Clap your hands, everybody, if you got what it takes. Cause I'm KRS and I'm on the mic and Premier's on the breaks. That stuck with me forever. I used to basically steal my brother's CDs and albums and singles and tapes and records. And I would play them when he was out and about doing his thing. Right. And, it was just one of those tracks that I played and I was like, yo, I don't know what this is, but this is it and I like it. And ever since then, I devoted myself to just hip hop.
So that was like, that feeling is like the first time you got high. It's like you remember it, it's always going to stick with you. Then, because hip hop, I try to tell people, I'm working with an artist right now. His name is Matic. Shout out to Matic. Dope artist, he literally studies his sounds, the way he enunciates things, everything like that. But he learned English from hip hop. He's from Venezuela as well.
That's Venezuela.
He's from Venezuela. He came here, I think he said 12 or something like that. And he didn't know English at all, zero English. And he started listening to hip hop, I guess, influence in school and stuff like that. And he learned English from hip hop. And I know it sounds like I'm diving deep into something, but people don't understand really how influential hip hop is. I can't learn Spanish. I have tried it. I'm not saying I can't, but I haven't took the time to it. And he made me feel like I'm a lesser of a person to say, you just listen to hip hop. And now he's very articulate. He speaks proper English. And I'm like, from hip hop. Can you believe hip hop did this? People really don't understand the power of hip hop. I guess the outsiders, us that are in it, we know this, that. Hip hop is it gets such a bad stigma from the outside due to certain things that we talk about, certain things ladies that are into music, but you know, you can refer that to a lot of other things and a lot of other music genres. You know, hip hop, rock and roll, doing drugs, country with domestic violence. There's a lot of other bad stigmas when it comes to music. So, but it's just I find hip hop amazing. For you saying KRS-One and you still remember it.
And that was on Fisher Island, yo.
Shout out to Fisher Island.
Yeah.
You performed in a lot of, let's go backwards, in a lot of school activities, dances. You won awards frequently. Was that normal for you?
Greatness has always been expected of me. Not just from myself, but from the people who I love the most and who I feel love me the most. And I feel like I've always been destined for that. I never knew exactly how I was going to express that. But music and art and all of that always seemed to be the easiest way for me to represent what I was feeling, what I was thinking, what I liked, what I didn't like. So definitely throughout my school years, I was blessed with the opportunity of being a part of, you know, school choruses, dance groups, a lot of extracurricular activities that, you know, put me in a lot of places where my teachers and people that were involved nurtured, I guess, that curiosity and that desire to want to be on stage to present myself and what I was feeling. So I was very blessed to be a part of that.
And not only being a part of it, mastering almost everything you did.
I'm happy to say that, yes, I'm pretty good at everything that I do.
The proof is there. You know the vibes is Litty Willie from Litty Productions. I want to thank everybody that's been supporting us, sharing, liking, commenting, doing all that good stuff. Just to let y'all know, we got Instagram live videos, we got YouTube videos, we got all kinds of different productions. That's why we call ourselves Litty Productions. Make sure y'all hit me up if y'all looking for something at Litty Willie _ Litty Show Productions on Instagram, all that good stuff. Just make sure you hit me up. We out. So, most memorable performance as a child, or as a kid, or as a teen, younger days.
My most memorable performance was at Hammocks Middle School. Shout out Hammocks Middle School. I did the talent show. They allowed me to do the talent show, and shout out to Alina Lanza, who was my choreographer and director of the dance studio that I was at. With her help, I developed a choreography. I did a solo performance for that talent show, and I actually won that year. And I just remember some of my classmates and some of my friends getting up and they started clapping during my performance. It was just one of those epic moments where I was like, yeah, this is where I feel like me.
Right. And solo. It wasn't a group.
No, it was solo.
And that moves into my next question. So I said I want to talk about Just Dancing with Alina. So that was a big part of your younger life, I should say.
Yeah, it was definitely a big part of my life. Dance was something that really impacted me till this day. I've applied a lot of the lessons that I learned, and they've helped me carry on much more professionally than I would have, I think, without it. And it taught me a lot about just being a woman and being comfortable in my body and learning how to move it and how to just be myself and feel myself and be comfortable with that. So it was definitely a very big part of my life. I actually had the opportunity to not just interview Alina after so many years now that have gone by, but I also got to interview her daughter, who was part of the Heat Dancers. She's danced alongside a lot of big names in the industry. So it's been great to see, you know, how much dance has impacted her life, her daughter's life, and so many other girls here in Miami. So it's definitely cool to be a part of that as well.
So what kind of, because I know there's different types of dancing styles or stuff. What did you do the most in?
I loved hip hop. Hip hop was my thing. That was my advanced dance competition team. And along with the responsibility and the placement of being on one of those teams that you had to try out for and really, you know, not just show your dance skills, but show how committed you were and how disciplined you were to be such a part of that competing team. Alina required us to also participate in other types of dances, tap being one of them. Till this day, I tap around some of my my friends laugh because like I love tapping. It's
dope.
really
It is
fun.
dope.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
Ballet, it wasn't my strongest, but it also developed a lot of character and a lot of strength, both personally and professionally when it came to dance. But mainly hip hop, yo. Hip hop's always been my thing. Yeah.
And with the physical aspect of that, people don't understand how much physically you have to be to dance as well.
I can't move like that.
well, I'm just saying this, we look at dancing and as dancing, but on a professional level, you really are working out.
Right.
It's an all-day thing that you're moving. Now, how long would you practice when you're dancing?
Well, when you're on a competition team, that varies depending on if you have competitions coming up all year round. Though you're practicing, for your end of the year recitals, for other different types of shows and collaborations. So depending on that, we were doing 4 hours a day minimum.
4 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
I work out 1 hour in the gym and I'm done.
Yeah.
So 4 hours minimum is.
It takes a while to build up that consistency. Yeah. And congratulations to you on your health journey, which reminds me.
Oh, here we go.
I have a little gift for you. It's not much, but it's from the heart.
Dre Mav. So listen, I want to say that any gift is a good gift for me because I'm a simple person. My girl's here today. You can ask her. I don't get much. I'm a father, so I'm always giving. So when I get something, I really, really, really appreciate it.
We gotta give fathers their flowers all the time.
Daily wellness journal. Okay.
Yeah, I saw you were trying to get healthy. I think it's very important to jot down your ideas. Dark chocolate. You need to treat yourself every now and then, but just think of a healthier option.
A card which I'm gonna read later because if it's sentimental, I don't want to cry on camera.
And then the last thing is just a couple of goodies that I always have on deck. That's actually just a local group. You've probably heard of them. But you asked me about certain artists that we could maybe bring on the show. Right. As individuals, you should definitely interview them collectively as well. And there's a lot of people within the community that I would also like to share here on your platform. So I'll definitely keep you posted on that.
I want to say, thank you so much. Like I said, I'm a person that's always giving and doing for people. So when I receive something, it's really appreciated.
I hope you really enjoy it.
Appreciate it. And the name of the group is
What They Do.
Substance Abuse EP tape that's still sealed. Now my daughter got a tape that I bought. My mother bought her because my daughter's got an old soul too. So I'm gonna listen to it.
So check this out. Those are our new artists. They're not, but they put it on tape. It's for the experience. So definitely check them out.
Follow them. Do they got Instagram? Or?
Of course they do. What They Do. Find them. You'll find them. What is it? GTS.
GTS. Google that shit. I'm going to read this later, y'all. I just want to make sure that, Thank you. Okay, so let's keep going. First step in all this. So let's forward from you going to school, dance, growing up. I think the first would be becoming a master of ceremony at a banquet hall.
Yeah, so that's kind of where it started off, where I started being hands-on and directing and creating my own projects. I was basically put in the position of master of ceremony at Birdside Banquet Hall. That's on 127th and Bird Road. The original owners are actually back there now after many years of not being there as well.
Did they want you back?
They actually did reach out. So thank you so much for thinking about me because I have a lot of wonderful memories there. Shout out to them and hit them up for any of your party needs. But that's kind of where it started. So I was doing choreography for quinces and sweet 16s. I was doing, the games for the baby showers.
DJ work?
DJ, I did press and play DJ. I'm not going to say I was such a cool DJ or anything. It was press and play. My transitions were terrible. Luckily, it was just like a little back room where there was no window. Nobody even had an idea where the DJ was. So I was just like, gotta just keep them jumping,
But you were proud of yourself when you were doing little things like that.
I enjoyed it so much. It never felt like it was work, I just always felt so blessed. And sometimes I think you don't really understand or know the importance of those moments where you're doing something And then you look back and you're like, wow, if it wasn't for that, like I wouldn't have done this, or I wouldn't be here, or I would have learned how to do that. So I definitely hold a lot of fond memories from the banquet hall as well.
I specifically put the fact of you being a press and play DJ because when he shout out to Robbie Joe. Robbie Joe has been working with me for 6-7 years out of the 8 years I've been doing this. So I come, as you see, he sets up everything. This is the whole
Super professional.
Yeah. So sometimes I got to do interviews by myself, and I have to use my phone. So the first time I did it, I was like, "Yo, I recorded myself. I get my camera. I got this little light." And he gave me good feedback. But it's like, you get proud of yourself when you're doing.
You accomplish something that you think
right.
you can't do.
Right. Because when I see him, I mean, look at this. Trying to keep up with all this is hard unless you do your homework. So when he does that, it was a proud moment for me. What are some of the attributes you gained doing this whole master ceremony position?
As far as master of ceremony, I developed the skills of truly organizing events from beginning to end. How to have public relations and speak to clients, how to do sales, how to, set up a stage, what the colors are going to look like, what kind of music would be appropriate for, the theme or whatever they had in mind. And just the discipline to always show face, you made mistakes along the way, but you always had to be present. You always had to show up, and the show always had to go on no matter what. So I definitely gained a lot of positive and professional attributes from the experience of everything that I've done. And just kind of now how to handle certain situations and certain people, and just certain things that happen as you're doing production when things go wrong.
So it was you can say that God was training you for the position that you're going to be in today with that.
I've always felt that.
Okay, good. What was your first big break in the industry?
Wow. My first big break. I have to say that I don't feel I've made that first big break yet. I've been very blessed, and I say this word a lot because that's what I feel. I feel very highly favored. I feel so grateful and so blessed for all of the opportunities that have come to me. I've met some amazing, incredible people. Going back to something that's very memorable is meeting KRS-One.
Oh, shit.
After so many years of just listening to his music, dancing his music, and impacting me so much within hip hop. Shout out to Struck 305 on the gram. His name's George. He's part of 305 magazine, and 305 radio that I do alongside with him. But he took me out one day to, I believe it was called Vibes. Shout out to Gil Green who puts that together. He took me out to this event. I got to see KRS-One perform live. It was a dope show. He caught a tennis ball that he signed. You know how KRS always signs the tennis ball. So I have one of those. It's like my prized possession. So I think that was definitely a big moment. But as far as my own personal big break, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it. When's it coming?
You know what I think? I think your first big break, in my opinion, is going to be you big breaking somebody. I think that's what your first. I think you're in a position right now where you can put people in positions, and I think that it's going to come full circle. So I think you're sitting waiting for that big break, but I think the big break is you big breaking somebody and it coming. So I guess it is your big break, because then somebody that you big break is going to be like, who put you here? Who sent you here? And they're going to be like, I came from Dre Mav. And then they're going to find out who you are. And then that's going to be.
You know that it's funny that you say that, because I have a few artists that I've, collaborated with. And I started off when I did Dre Mav Productions, I guess publicly. And I kind of had a goal that I wanted to artist manage and break out that next big artist. So that's definitely always been a personal goal for myself, and also for the brand and for Dre Mav Productions. there's a lot of complications that come along with
Yes.
different things that you do in life, especially artist management.
Yes.
So I'm happy to say that everything ended on a positive note and we still have a great relationship. So shout out to those artists. However, it wasn't the right time for me to focus on artist management. I needed to work on a lot of personal things that I was going through myself. So before I committed to anybody else, I definitely had to make sure that I was right.
Good. That's right.
You know, so it wasn't the right time, but I would definitely take pride in being that person to break somebody else out.
So in this whole journey of you getting to finishing your master ceremony, not where you sit today, but finishing to where you were at as master ceremony, what was the biggest lesson you learned?
The biggest lesson that I've learned throughout that time is to truly believe in yourself, you know? Like sometimes you can accept advice from your peers, from your parents, from your siblings, from your colleagues, your teachers, from whoever, you know, you read a book but ultimately I think we're all born with an internal compass where nobody has to tell you what's right, what's wrong, what feels good, what feels bad. So as long as you really take the time to listen to yourself and not get carried away by what anybody tells you, for me personally, since I was a child, I felt like I had a bigger purpose, and perhaps there's millions of people or everybody feels that way. Everyone has a story to tell, but that's something that nobody told me. No, I didn't read it anywhere. It was something that I just felt from before I could even speak or read. I knew that it was going to be something big. So regardless of whether people told me you're not going to do that or this line of work is not for you, you should focus on something else, Dre just kept doing her thing and we're sitting here today, you know? So just believe in yourself and do what you feel is right.
It's funny because I was just talking to Amaury about this on the way here. I was like, bro, we all have our own path. Like there's no specific path. So you saying that is dope. You know the vibes is Litty Willie from Litty Productions. I want to thank everybody that's been supporting us, sharing, liking, commenting, doing all that good stuff. Just to let y'all know, we got Instagram live videos, we got YouTube videos, we got all kinds of different productions. That's why we call ourselves Litty Productions. Make sure y'all hit me up if y'all looking for something at Litty Willie _ Litty Show Productions on Instagram, all that good stuff. Just make sure you hit me up. We out. So right now we're going to get into overrated or underrated. Right now, today, overrated and underrated is sponsored by Kelly's Cooking Powder. Shout out to the family at Kelly's Cooking Powder. All natural seasoning, all natural everything. Make sure y'all go check them out. It's very simple. Kelly's Cooking Powder, all with a K. Overrated or underrated is basically, I'm going to ask you two artist names. Or I'm going to ask you two different things names. So I'm going to say yellow or green. Which one's overrated? Which one's underrated? If you say none of them's overrated, none of them's underrated, you got to take a shot. Very simple.
Okay.
So no answer's a shot.
Okay, but what do I have two? You're going to ask me just two?
No, this is just kind of like we gave you extra just in case. No, we're going to ask you actually 10.
Okay.
So you ready? Gloria Estefan or Madonna? Which one's overrated? Which one's underrated?
Oh, wow. Both overrated.
So go ahead. Oh, no, you're good. That's right. Queen Latifah, MC Light. Which one's overrated? Which one's underrated?
Ooh, both underrated.
Both underrated.
They are pioneers in their lanes.
You came here not to drink. Monica or Brandy?
I'm a Brandy fan, so
Monica's overrated?
I mean, honestly, I don't think she ever really got her true shine, you know?
So she's underrated, Monica.
I think she's underrated. Okay. She's definitely underrated.
Got you. Uncle Luke or Sir Mix-a-Lot?
Ooh. Both underrated.
You cannot do that. You have
why?
No, because there's no
I'm being honest.
So you have to. So then that
next
means you have to take a shot.
Next question.
You have to take at least a shot. If you say both, that means a shot. If you don't pick, that's a shot.
Fine, give
There's
me a shot.
There you go. She's nice to you too. She thinks she gave me girl power because I got a lot more than you. Fubu or Tommy Hilfiger?
Oh wow. I don't like either of them. Both overrated.
You really want to take another shot by saying both? Go ahead, take another shot.
Is that the way this works?
Yeah, that's how it works. Car Kunai or Guess? Which one's overrated? Which one's underrated?
Carl Kunai.
is
overrated.
and Guess is underrated. Okay.
And Guess is underrated.
See, you don't want to drink no more. Biggie
No.
or Pop?
Up until no, wait.
Oh, okay.
Because you see, we have to elaborate on these questions.
We don't elaborate.
These are not yes or no questions, though.
Why
you
not?
know, because up until recently, up until a lot of negative things have been brought to light regarding a lot of people that I grew up not idolizing, because I don't idolize anybody, but admire and look up to and try to learn from and look up to them as sort of mentors, have truly disappointed me. So I don't see a lot of these people in the same light. I used to say it was Biggie because I'm from the East Coast, and I think East Coast music was what really influenced me at the time that hip hop took a hold of me. Obviously Tupac is very, very influential as well, but at this point I feel like everybody's overrated. Everybody's overrated.
So you have to take another shot, right? I'll take it for you though. Here.
It's okay, yeah. I'll drink.
Wayne or Jay-Z?
We go back to the same thing, overrated.
Both are overrated? You lucky I'm not.
But I love Wayne.
Okay.
I love Wayne.
He's
He's definitely one of the best lyricists, and I think he's definitely better than Jay-Z. So Jay-Z's overrated.
Wayne is underrated. Okay.
Does that mean I have to take?
No, you answered it correctly. Drake or Kendrick?
Oh God.
Yeah. Which is overrated? Give me a solid.
Drake is overrated.
Okay.
Drake is and yes.
Okay. And last one. The pressure's off for you. Trust from a man or love from a man?
Definitely trust.
Is overrated or underrated?
Trust is definitely underrated.
And love is overrated. Okay, so you survived. You don't have to drink that much.
I'm sweating though. I feel like I did something else.
Moving forward from your position, master of ceremony, you're doing so much right now. You're an event planner, 3 different shows, working with all kinds of companies, including Netflix. If you had to emphasize like a title or what would you label yourself in one kind of title?
If I absolutely had to, because I don't like titles.
I know. I see that. That's why it's hard to understand.
You know, they say it's not good to be a jack of different types of trades, that you definitely have to specialize in one thing. I don't know if I attribute that as the power of suggestion, that I'm a Gemini, but it's hard for me to just commit to like one specific thing. Like I know I can, do so many different things and I want to accomplish so much. So I try not to label myself as anything. I just like to be a creator and director of unnecessary and special projects.
Okay, that was decent enough. Gemini, do you believe in the whole zodiac thing, or it's just you say that casually?
No, I don't live by it. I definitely think the stars influence everything.
I'm a Virgo. What does that mean?
I'm not sure, because I definitely don't practice it or anything. Gemini's just always been the zodiac sign that's been attributed to me, and a lot of the characteristics. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I even have it tattooed on me.
Oh, okay.
So I do believe in it to a certain extent, but not to the point where I know everybody else is and what their
So basically,
sign
you're saying
means.
you're not crazy.
I think I am a little crazy.
We all are.
A little crazy,
We're
you know?
We're all a little bit just on the...
They say that's the first step, right?
I'm hitting the spectrum. Dre Mav Productions. So talk to me. If Dre Mav Productions, you do so much. So are you looking for do you work with artists? Are you looking for artists? Explain to me your production agency. How does it work? What do you do?
So Dre Mav Productions is basically like a general contractor of all sorts of productions relating to radio, broadcasting, media, and events. So anything that anybody may need, whether it's, a corporation, a private event, a family that wants to celebrate a birthday or a baby shower, an artist that wants to do a photo shoot, you know, podcast, whatever it is that you have in mind, Dre Mav Productions, if we can't take care of everything in-house, we have such a wide network and such great connections, not just here in Miami, but on a worldwide basis, that we can bring your ideas to life. So I'm always open to new business. I have over the years established a lot of affiliations with local organizations, local businesses that I tend to work with because it's constant work with them and constant productions, you know, from running studios to running radio stations, to also doing weekly events, things of that nature. But we're always open for new business. So if there's anyone out there that's, you know, ready to work, let's work.
I mean, you're sitting right next to one.
We're out here, you know?
No, because I mean, like, when I started doing my homework on you, I'm like, you know, you're connected to so many different lines and avenues, and I think like one of the reasons why I wanted to interview was to put education to people that are out there, because I think a lot of people struggle with promotion. I think a lot of people struggle with, they got jerked over by people and they paid somebody for something and maybe they didn't get the outcome that they expected, but at the same time, they weren't explained what they should be expecting and what they're paying for. And I think that your whole organization can help with things like that. So maybe an artist that's just looking for views, or an artist that's looking for a music video, an artist that's looking for podcasts, and an artist that's looking for a article, whatever it may be. I think your company needs to be put out there more, so artists, because you're not in the business of fucking anybody over. So I think
definitely not.
Yeah, no, I know it. So I think that, you know, people can utilize you in your business in an honest way to help them grow. So
that's always been, I think, the foundation of what I've been able to establish through my work ethic, through the relationships that I have established. The proof is in the pudding, you know, at the end of the day, I don't have to sit here in front about who I am, what I do. I don't advertise on billboards. I don't, you know, but everything that I've been a part of, which I feel once again, so blessed to be a part of, has been divinely organized and has come up very, very naturally, because I truly feel like I'm in line with the purpose of my life.
yeah, definitely.
You know, I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking for anything in specific. My goal has always been to serve not myself, but to serve others. If there's some way, and this is kind of how everything began. And I would say that was probably my quote unquote break into this industry, what really got me started off. I hit a very low point in my life back in 2013, 2014. A very personal situation that I was not ever really comfortable with opening up about and discussing was taking place in my life at that time. I hit rock bottom to the point where I ended up in the hospital. And I looked at myself in the mirror one day, sitting at the hospital. I wasn't able to leave. And I was like, yo, this ain't me. Like, what am I doing? Like, why am I in the hospital? Like, I know that my life has so much more purpose, and like, I'm not going out like this. So up until that moment, like, I always knew I had to do something, but I didn't know what it was. So during that time, you know, once that happened, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, I'm out of here. I took off my robe, I got dressed, and I went against doctor's orders, and I just left the hospital like, I'm gonna be good.
Yeah.
So I ended up one day going on the metro rail, and I was heading down south to go chill with some of my friends, just to kind of get away from everything that I was dealing with at that time. I definitely needed to see my friends that I hadn't seen in a very long time. So as I'm sitting on the metro rail, I'm having a personal conversation with God, and just kind of saying like, you know, I need some direction. Like, I know that this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, and I need some sort of symbolism or some sort of sign, because right now I'm lost and I don't know what to do. As soon as I look up, I see an advertisement for Miami Media School, and it's a huge microphone. And I'm like, you know what? I've always wanted to be a famous singer, and this is kind of probably past my time now. But this has to do with radio and artists and music. And you know what? Maybe I'm going to go to Miami Media School. A week later, I was enrolled. I'm very happy and grateful to say that I graduated as one of the top of the class. And ever since then, it's just been working and providing platforms, for all sorts of people from all walks of life. Because I wasn't ready to share my story, this is a very different situation for me because I'm not used to being interviewed. Usually I'm the one who's interviewing people. So it's really great to see that everything that I've done out of really just the passion and care of my heart has led to so many beautiful moments. And now I feel like I'm home. So thank you. And thank you to everybody who has welcomed me into this career, into this community, into this vibe, and into this culture that I'm very happy to be a part of. And we're definitely breaking ground and we're moving forward, y'all.
That's dope. And I gotta ask you, so what you've gone through, you spoke about it already publicly or not yet?
I may have
Partially.
kind of touched base on it. I haven't got into in depth of it.
I don't ask to ask you what happened. I ask because I feel like you're coming out of it and you're parting it out. But I do think that it's liberating to speak how you feel and how you felt. Not only Robbie is my director, cameraman, and all this other stuff, he's also a good friend. And one of the things he's pointed out to me in attributes was, you don't hide what you've been through. You speak about everything you've gone through, good, bad, pretty, ugly, from your lowest points to your highest points. So I only ask you that because I do encourage you eventually, not today, but someday, sit down, either if it's by yourself and put a camera on and record it, but talk to the people because maybe it's something you need to get off your chest to move forward even further.
I definitely agree that talking about things that you go through in life and having somebody to depend on, even if it's just to lend a ear or a shoulder, is very important. I definitely have not bottled myself up. I've definitely am also blessed once again to say that I have a beautiful family and a great group of friends that are always there, no matter what happens, that help me kind of bring me back to life sometimes. However, I'm very grateful because Girl Talk Radio came out.
Yes.
Because of that, it was through Miami Media School that we were talking about developing different shows in our classes. And they asked us to just come up with what radio show would you do if you were granted the opportunity to do so. Right. So talking to my girls about different experiences, we were like, man, you know what? Like Girl Talk Radio came to mind. And I'm like, this is Girl Talk. We're talking about our problems. This is a safe space where we can talk about issues, the things that have happened, how we've handled them, how we've overcome them. At that point, I was not ready to share my story, right. And I never wanted to focus on myself. I realized that the spotlight, I enjoy it sometimes, and it's great to be in the presence of the spotlight. But at the same time, I'm very comfortable being behind the scenes, directing, seeing someone else shine, putting someone else on. That's always been really like what drives me. So at that time, I wasn't ready to talk about myself. And I said, all right, Girl Talk Radio, we can talk about women empowerment and how we overcome these things. And I went through this and this is my story. But moving forward, how am I going to talk about myself for a show? Right, there's only so much I can say about myself. So we decided to do Girl Talk Radio and open up the platform to women to talk about issues, domestic violence, all kinds of things. That way they had a safe space, and that came about. So I was able to, through that, I think also get through the situation that I was in. And honestly, it saved my life.
Your situation inspired Girl Talk Radio.
Yes.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Let's simplify it like that.
Yeah.
We're coming on the home stretch. So one more question for a shot. And then after that, we're going to go to our closing statements. Yeah. This is the first segment that I wanted to do for a long time, and actually doing first with you.
Wow. Honored.
Do you remember your first Instagram post? If you remember it, you don't have to take a shot. If you don't remember, you have to take a shot.
I do remember it.
What was it?
It was during that time, and it says, be your own hero.
You sure you didn't look at my phone?
No, be your own hero. Look at that.
I like it. So you didn't have to take the shot.
I've gone down to the beginning of my Instagram and I've been tempted to delete that. But the reason why I started that Instagram was to remind myself. It wasn't to expose my life or what I was going through, but it was a way to remind myself of my accomplishments, the things that I've done, to be able to leave a legacy of the things that I've done throughout my life and just have important and memorable and beautiful moments on there that I could not just remind myself, but also leave to the world when I'm not here.
If you had a chance to talk to your 15-year-old self and give her one piece of advice, what would it be?
Get your degree and finish your career and educate yourself to the utmost ability that you possibly can. Everything else will come after.
Okay. And closing out with a quote that you stated on Fago Talk. Shout out to my brother UB. UB supports me a lot.
That's my brother, yo. That's family.
Yeah, family for sure. Everywhere you go, try to make it better than you found it.
Wow. Yes. What about that?
I don't even want to say what about it. I want people to follow that quote. So once again, everywhere you go, try to make it better than you found it.
So to me, that was just how I live. I have, just like everybody else, my problems, my traumas, my issues, my flaws. I make mistakes. By no means am I perfect. So a lot of the things that you see on social media, on the gram, everybody's always like, Dre, you're always so happy and you're always partying and you're a party girl. And, you know, if you really know me, I'm really actually a homebody. Like, I like being home. I like being chill, you know?
Same.
I like, you know, being with my family and doing things like that. This is just kind of like what you guys get to see on the surface. But my goal in life, if anything, is to just be a better person every single day, no matter what mistake you've done that day. You always have an opportunity, as long as you're here, to leave an impact on everybody around you. And the only way that you are going to change the world is by changing yourself and by changing the world that's immediately around you. That's going to start a ripple effect that you have no idea who you're going to be inspiring, what you're going to be inspiring. So no matter where you go in life, no matter how low you feel, no matter what you're going through, it doesn't matter, you know, if you're on the corner waiting for the bus and there's a homeless man laying there with you, or if you are, you know, at the highest place of society, always try to make it the best that you can and better than how you found it.
Facts. Dre Mav in the building. Before we close out, shout out.
Another shot? Oh, I thought it was going to be another shot.
I mean, you want to take? You got one left, don't you?
All right. Let's close this out. Oh no,
shot.
look.
No, here.
My cup is empty.
Does anybody got the bottle? Okay. Sorry, Robbie. We'll finish with the shot, and then I just need to put.
Good things take time, you know.
That's right. Rome wasn't built.
We're almost out of here. Thank you so much for having me.
Wait, but before we take this shot, any shout outs that you want to give before we close?
There's so many shout outs I want to give. God above all, who always keeps me grounded. It doesn't matter what you believe in or how you believe in it, but as long as it's good, like I said, go back to that internal compass. You know what's right. You know what's wrong. Try to always do good. So I want to give a shout out to everybody who God and the universe has placed in my life to be able to help, that has helped me. You guys know who you are, and hopefully I can work with a lot more of you that I can be shouting out, but you know who you are.
Amen. And you were the first guest to give me a gift. So shout out to you.
Shout out to me. By the way, shout out Mr. Nick Garcia.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to make that interview with
Mr. De Pinga is in the house.
Before we close out, can you tell the people where they can find you, your shows, your production, your everything? Where can they just find everything?
There's a lot of stuff, but you can find me personally on the gram at 305_brownie. You can find the company at Dre Mav Productions. Everything else you will find on the bio. I hope to connect with you guys soon.
You know the fucking vibes. Litty Willie, Dre Mav in the building.
Go get those swimsuits, everybody.
I hope I can get interviewed on her platform next.
I would love to have you on the show.
Just let me know.
It's already set in stone. We're going to make it happen.
We out.
It's the Litty Show. The Litty Show.
You know the fucking vibe.